So I was sitting there talking to my wife last night. We were having a conversation about violence, men. And I explained to her that, when two men are having a conversation and it's getting heated, there's a level of violence that's always present. This is just natural. And I know it, sounds chauvinistic, but just leave men alone. That's all. Just leave them alone. They're fighting battles you could never understand.
It's such a fucking joke. And to get up here and lie and be like, oh, I'm not condoning violence. You are. You're literally trying to control women with the threat of violence.
If men are really the problem, then why don't y'all just leave us alone?
No, I don't think so. If a majority of men were bad, evil, violent, a lot of us would not be sitting here today.
The reason that I have no patience and I spare no anger in the discussion of men caring about women's issues and thus men asking women to care about their mental health and their issues and blah, 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 is because to this day, in every video I've made about it, I just cannot get these men to admit that there's a problem that men are perpetuating.
I just want the patriarchy to get its story straight. Now, I know to do so, the patriarchy would have to have integrity. And integrity is the cure to the patriarchy, is the antidote to the patriarchy. The patriarchy, it cannot survive with any level of integrity, right? Like if integrity starts to take hold within the patriarchy, it will no longer exist. The whole thing is a sham and a scam, right? But I just be like, the way y'all be all over the place and expect to still recruit new motherfuckers like me is wicked. Y'all got to make sense. You want to get a man like me on your team, you got to make sense. You got to make sense at some point. Men literally the last week, I've been talking to men about the inherent violence that exists within men and within the community of men, right? And then men be like, no, most men are violent. I've heard even wild numbers like 2% of men are responsible for all the crime and all the violence. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's physically impossible. Like, but whatever, go off. And then on the flip side, because men need violence to uphold the patriarchy and the threat of it, those very same men fully acknowledge that men are inherently violent, right? It's pretty wild.
So I was sitting there talking to my wife last night. We were having a conversation about violence, men. And I explained to her that, when two men are having a conversation and it's getting heated, there's a level of violence that's always present. Like even if it's just a small blip, there's always a sense of violence. So there's a threshold two men cannot cross. And we know where that threshold is. Some men walk away. Some men throw their hands up like, you know what? I'm done. Because we know that there can't be continuous bickering because there's a level of violence that's always present. And the older a man gets, the more he bottles that up inside him. So when you attempt to harm or if he thinks you're attempting to harm his family, he's going to unleash a level of rage that you can't really understand. And she was like, well, I don't understand that. I don't understand why it always goes, if it goes to violence. Like, I don't understand. I don't condone violence. And I'm like, no one condones violence.
You are literally condoning violence.
But that violence is always present. So when you have a man in your life, he's just understand, especially if he's a protector. I mean, there's some other men out there that aren't, there's some new wave men out there, and I get it, but I still think it's inside them as well. But just leave a man alone, leave his family alone, and everybody will be happy. Everybody will continue to live in this world and smile. I think you guys, it's been decades of preparation, but a lot of women just assume that this world is safe because men keep you safe. I know that sounded chauvinistic. I know it did, but there are men in your lives that just bottle up all that rage and they just ride out with it. But if some other man is trying to what am I trying to say? Is trying to harm the family, you will see that rage. That's all. Whether you condone it or not, you're going to see that rage, and it is going to be something you've never witnessed before, because you go through life with blinders on. You go through life with blinders on. But we do not. We are constantly looking around. We are constantly ready for whatever's about to happen, because we know it's imminent. It's going to happen at some point, and we are ready for it. We're not walking around with, just assuming that life is fantastic, or we're complaining about what's happening at Starbucks. Like, it doesn't, that's not the world men live in. Like, when you see the animal kingdom, you don't see two female lions fighting, two female elephants going at it. You don't see that. You don't see two sheep that don't have horns bumping their heads together. They don't do that. This is just natural. And I know it, sounds chauvinistic, but just leave men alone. That's all. Just leave them alone. They're fighting battles you could never understand, all to just come home and take care of their family. That's it.
So these men always like to act like men are these warriors and they're out in the world and they're just, we're just protectors, and every single day, as if women aren't fighting. Women will be fighting every battle a man will be fighting, and then some. Except, the battle that most men are fighting, I feel like when they say that, is their DL. They're fighting the battle of homosexuality. Like, the whole time the demon is it's the demon, and I don't think being gay is demonic, but it's the demon that they can't accept themselves and they can't let themselves be free, so they repress themselves. But anyways, it's such a fucking joke. And to get up here and lie and be like, I'm not condoning violence. You're literally trying to control women with the threat of violence. You're saying just leave men alone, because that man can explode on you and everybody else if you don't leave him alone, because men are what? Fucking violent. Men are violent. And then the part that really got underneath my skin about this dumbass, this idiot, is the part where he was talking about, like, women don't understand. They think that, they live in a bubble or some shit like that because men are protecting them. Sir, please. Are you talking about these women? Shout out to my homegirl, Savvy. She been cooking this dude ever since he made this dumbass video. She on part 43. She got like 48 parts to this. Like, every day she uploads like 1 or 2 videos. But yeah, just this is what women are experiencing. And this fool talking about women live in a bubble because men are so safe and we make it so safe.
If men are really the problem, then why don't y'all just leave us alone?
Ring camera POV.
Yeah, men are so safe. That guy looked like a puppy. He looked like he was just trying to help her. He looked like he was just trying to help her. Ain't that crazy? That's what they out here. That's what this dude out here talking about. Men make the world safe, sir. Even when women mind their own business, men are a threat to them. I would say, especially when women mind their own business. But the thing that annoys me is the contradiction, the steady contradictions from men, right? Because remember, men are violent. Every man is violent. He even said the men that aren't violent are violent. That's what he said. So all men are violent, right? And this is what I've heard. What that first dude said, that's what I heard about men my whole life.
Violent about masculinity?
Inherently violent? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. If a majority of men were bad, evil, violent, a lot of us would not be sitting here today. Okay, we'd still be in the Stone Age.
Why do you think that such a vast majority of mass shootings are done by men?
I think that's a mental health issue.
We know that these mass shooters, most of them are white males. We know that. So when I talk to a lot of white males, that have traditional values, say, or maybe a traditional upbringing, they feel like they've been made to be the villains of society. And I hear this from a lot of white males. I feel like I'm the bad guy. I feel like I'm the villain. So maybe at some point, mentally, they're breaking and becoming that villain. They're becoming that monster that they've been made out to be.
Be the exception. Yeah. If you're worried about being put into a box that is one that is like clearly harmful based on like what people are doing, then don't do that. Mass shooters is like obviously like a sensitive topic, but a lot of them are like men with like little to no friends who like go out and in like a burst of rage commit like atrocities. And I don't think that it has to do with how they're hardwired as men. I think that it has to do with how society like treats people like that.
Now, most men are not harmful. Most men are not bad. Most men aren't violent. And it was funny because I want to listen to this again. Watch the question that was asked and watch how the dude flipped it. Watch.
Is there something inherently violent about masculinity?
Inherently violent? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. If a majority of men were bad, evil, violent.
He just asked him, is it inherently masculinity? Is it masculinity inherently violent? Masculinity is inherently violent. Men are inherently violent. Most men are definitely violent. And if not, they condone violence. There's a lot of men that wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight, but they condone violence. They condone violence against other people because they need, even though they are a puppy dog, they need to, they still know that they're men and they're going to benefit from the violence that other men perpetuate, right? So they're cool with it. They allow that violence. They're like, well, you know, you need a man to protect you, even though that man couldn't protect you and he wouldn't protect you, right?
The reason that I have no patience and I spare no anger in the discussion of men caring about women's issues and thus men asking women to care about their mental health and their issues and blah, 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 is because to this day, in every video I've made about it, I just cannot get these men to admit that there's a problem that men are perpetuating. They just won't do it. They will not do it. And I'm even in this video, I'm sure they won't, like, they will always do what about, or they will say, oh, sure, but also, and they can never just let us sit with the fact that there is a severe rape problem, sexual assault problem, harassment problem, bullying problem, body shaming problem that men perpetuate on women.
Hey, I'm a man. Those are problems.
Did you hear what she said? That it was going to be a man, or people in the comments and what she said? Watch him walk right into the point.
Shaming problem that men perpetuate on women.
Hey, I'm a man. Those are problems. I have never once in my entire life ever heard a man combat what you just said. Never once. Men know that there are bad men out there. We talk about it all the time. I have never once in my entire life have spoke to a man and said women are just making up being R-worded by men all the time. Never. What the hell? What men are you talking to?
The average man believes that. And here it goes. This is the whataboutism. This is the deflection. You're doing the thing. You're saying, bro, you are the poster child for what she is talking about. You're doing it right now. Men do downplay rape. Men do say most men aren't rapists and most women aren't getting raped and all of that stuff. That is literally what men say. Exactly what that other dude said. Oh, if most men are bad and most men were violent, we wouldn't be here and all of that goofy ass shit. Like what? That is literally what men say.
And then you say sometimes they say, yeah, well, yeah, that's true, but this is also true. How would you be mad about that?
That's called deflection. That's called whataboutism.
If you bring up abuse that happened to you in the hands of a man to a man, and then a man brings up abuse that happened to him by a woman, it's part of the same conversation, is it not? If the whole
it's not
point of the conversation and posting the videos is to spread awareness, why does it make you so mad that they're spreading awareness from?
Because they don't use their own platforms. They don't use their own time to talk about men being abused. And then the fact that you even said it by a woman, when the vast majority of abuse is going to be perpetuated by men, even against other men and boys. So whenever they bring it up as a way to, whenever they bring it up in a moment when a woman is talking about her lived experiences and what she's experiencing from men, and then you bring up something that you, but what about, that is a whataboutism. You're not doing it to raise awareness. You're doing it to stifle her message and her impact, what she is saying.
Men victims as well. Like, if you're just trying to spread awareness for women, like you only care about women victims, just say that. Like, that's a different scenario. If you're genuinely and only trying to have conversation about women victims, women who are R-worded, harassed, or bullied, or have been put through this, that, if you only want to be an advocate to those victims, fuck the other victims, fuck men victims, that's different. You got to lead with that. Make sure to start your video off with, hey, men victims, I don't care that you were R-worded. I don't care if you were harassed. I don't care if you were bullied. I don't care if you attempted to take your own life. I only care about women. I don't want to talk about y'all.
Yeah, that's not what she said. But you are the reason why she don't give a fuck about you type of men. You're the reason why. You are exactly why, because she is talking about the threat of violence that women face at the hands of men, and the violence that women face at the hands of men, and women, the vast majority of women don't commit violence against anybody, but the vast majority of violence committed against women happen because of men. You see what I'm saying? Whereas when you flip that around, the vast majority of men are violent, and the vast majority of violence is perpetuated against men by men. See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, men are the problem. And as soon as you go, but what about a woman? That's not what it is. And a man attempting to kill himself, again, that is a problem that men need to care about, not a problem that women need to care about. We need to care about that as a society, fuck it, collectively, starting with men. How about that? Because women do care about the health of mental health.